Hey, it's DK. We are making a HD Darilbalde from Mercury. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but who cares? It's a compa. It's been like half year since I moved to Michigan, but I still haven't unpacked because I'm looking for a house and I don't want to unpack, pack again, and set up again, so I'm just not unpacking at all. I'm just taking out necessary stuff as I go. I love to custom color, but my airbrush set isn't ready yet, so we'll just do something today. And I'll show you some of these like fixing nibs issue. I'm going quickly here, but I'll go in detail later. So I noticed the stickers have some cool color. So what I'm gonna do is, if it's going inside between the plastic and the clear plastic, I'll use the actual decal that came with the kit. But if it's not exposed, so like this eye and face part, I'm just gonna hand paint them. I recently bought some metallic Gundam markers, what I'm using right now. Green metallic and a yellow metallic. Gold basically. Since The Witch is the series that brought me back to Gundam, I just fell in love with all the models and bought most of them. But like more I make it, these are so well built, well thought out. You know, they might look somewhat similar, but they are really well built. You can play with these. They won't fall apart. And I just got over 650 subscribers. I don't know how, thank you very much. I mentioned this earlier that if the sticker is going inside, getting sandwiched in between, it's like this one. There was a plastic that covers the decal. If it's that case, I'll just use the decal. If not, I'll try to paint it. So when you cut it with a nipper, you don't go right up against it. You leave a little bit of a nib next to the piece and you trim it out like this. But when you do that, this happens. It's a little leftover gate pieces. So you go close and you use different grit sand stick to make it flatten. And I use gum primers to sponge, gray and white. They work really well. The white has two sides, the white side and the green side. The green side is a little bit higher grit and white is almost like polishing. After you do all that, it kind of becomes the original Gunpla surface. Do you see the difference between the left and right? Yep. Doing the same thing on the other side. It just takes time. It's fun little hobby. You see the before and after. You know, you still see little marks. I could have gone in and do a really detailed job, but if you're painting these, you will be sanding it, priming it, dry it, do another coat. Those little marks will just not exist because you'll put like one or two layers on top of those plastics. So as long as you plane the field, make them almost same surface type. If it's a matte, matte. If it's a polished, polished. You should be good to go when you paint it. Like I said earlier, I love to custom paint, but my airbrush isn't ready yet. So I think I'll be hand painting them and dry brushing them. We'll see what happens. Even on default, no extra custom job. Looks pretty clean. Now I'm taking everything apart so I can paint them easily so they don't get dirty. I'm starting with the gunmetal Tamiya color, and this is like a cool mixer that I got. This base coat, it's not actually dry brushing. I'm almost like tapping them to give them a little bit of the flakes. This one is more of a dry brushing where I dry the heck out of the brush and try to go in the edge and make it like a rustic look. I saw some wiring on the leg side, so I'm trying to put some copper wire look right here. I'm liking how it's turning out. Little gray, little silver with the copper. I think it's kind of working. At first I tried to use the signal red from BAO Air, but it was too pink, so I changed to metallic red from Aqueous, and it was better. Again, I'm not trying to paint the whole thing in red, I'm just trying to make it into like metallic surface. I think this copper layer was more important layer than the red because it gave a used rustic look to the whole piece. And I thought it wasn't enough, so I brought out my Tamiya weathering kit. Main goal of the weathering kit was to make them look dirty. I mainly used the black oil all over with the light brush and used the white snow on the edge to give it a little highlight. You see the little left and right difference. More volume when you add the black and white to a piece. The more I did it, I really liked the white highlights that were catching on the edge, so I tried to do it more on every edge that I see. Gave some silver look to white pieces, and this is the enamel green fluorescent. Just adding it to some pieces. And gunmetal color is back to do some black touch-ups here and there. Since the weathering kit was doing all the shadow and highlights, I decided to skip the panel liner on this one. I think it was enough. So these are all the pieces. I think they look pretty good. Some even looks like they have a panel liner, but they don't. Here's a finished piece comparing to the original one. I think this was a fun project without using an airbrush. You know, if I had at least a base coat to all the colors, I'm thinking the weathering kit might have worked better. Because right now the surfaces are so clean, not roughed up. The powders from the weather kit is not fully catching. It is catching, but not fully catching. And I should have also did the top coat since the weathering kit is a powder, basically a makeup kit. So I should have done a matte top coat or something, but I don't even have that right now. So I'm just gonna keep this up in the shelf and not touch it until I put a top coat later. Thank you very much if you are still here, and see you on the next build. See ya.